Okay. At 7:38, we had a motion to leave executive session, and that was agreed unanimously by the board. Okay?
I'm not defending that. I'm just trying to manage
The next items are requests for budget adjustments. Item 3, I believe there's a non-routine application, SE11, that will not be taken up. There's no action there. And now we have our 2 routine applications. So our clerk or secretary.
Whatever. I'll make them together.
Yes.
Motion, so FD2 is our first, which is the fire department, which is a $45,000 transfer. And we have application PD6, which is from the police department, which is a $35,000 approval to use a state grant.
Second.
Okay. That motion is made by Nisha Arora, seconded by Leslie Tarkington. Any objections to accepting these 2 routine applications by unanimous consent? Great. That's a 12-0-0. Pete, could you just, I know there was a little bit discussion about the state Connecticut grant, about whether or not this would go to the RTM or not, based upon some resolutions. Can you update the board? Thank you.
Roland contacted Amina in the law department, and the answer is yes, it goes to the RTM.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this item will go to the RTM. And just to confirm, the transfer will not. Is that correct? I just want to make sure, just so the public understands. Yeah, it will not go to the RTM. Correct. Okay, FD2 will not, and PD6 will go to the RTM. Thank you. Can we now have the assessor's report? Lauren Elliott, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, fellow members of the BET. I'd like to present the assessor's report for January 2023. So the grand list of 2022 is completed. It is at Quality Data's being printed currently. In addition to them printing our grand list, they also will be printing our increase notices. Anybody who changed their real estate assessment from the 21 grand list to the 22 grand list will be getting a notice. And we will be sending, as we usually do, notices to all personal property accounts, regardless of whether their assessment has changed or not. Those notices should go out by the end of the month in January, the end of the month of January. I will also be signing the grand list by the end of the month as well. The Board of Assessment Appeals will start accepting applications from February 1st, and this year to February 21st, as February 20th is a holiday. The BAA has put their form on the website, and it's also available in the assessor's office, and they will be due by February 21st at 5 o'clock. Mark Pruner, the chairman of the Board of Assessment Appeals, will also be staffing I believe we'll have an office upstairs on the 2nd floor from the time period of February 1st through the 21st. Okay. The senior and disabled property tax relief program. We will be sending out applications to all of those who are currently on the list and are required to file this year. Those applications will be sent out by February 1st. The filing period this year is from February 1st to May 15th, and those days don't fall on a weekend, so those are the true dates this year. Anybody, in addition to those people who have not, who don't have to file, all applications will be accepted in my office between now and May 15th. They have to, any and all property owners that file after April 15th have to file in person. That is a bit of a change this year. So they do have to come in person and file with us if they don't come in before April 15th. Does anybody have any questions for me this evening?
So, Lauren, I believe, is there a new member of the Assessment Board of Appeals? Is that changed?
Yes.
I remember one had resigned.
Yes, Howard Richmond is no longer, I believe, a resident of Greenwich. He's moved to Florida. So he was replaced by Joe Hooley, who was a former member of the Board of Assessment Appeals. So he will now take Howard Richmond's place.
Jeff.
I was going to ask that the assessor comment on exactly what was the
Unless there's another question.
I had, yes, is it correct that the senior tax relief, so that those that are eligible for the program can have homes of a value, I guess, in excess of about $2.6 million, is it similar to last year, is that?
Yes.
So only in Greenwich is your home at $2.6 million eligible for senior tax relief, right, Lauren?
Yes, the assessment, based upon the formula that is in your local ordinance, the assessment is now at, your property assessment, that's the 70% value, cannot exceed $1,857,240. It cannot exceed that. Anything below that is granted for tax relief.
And that's the 70%
That's
value
the
of the...
70% value, yes.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the report?
So moved.
Okay. So that's Leslie Tarkington, seconded by Jeff Raymer. Unanimous consent? Thank you. That's accepted by unanimous consent. Thank you, Lauren, very much. Now our controllers report, Peter Minorski.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, BET members. I'll be brief and open it to questions. Bring your attention to page 2, the capital project financing. As noted in the report, we have the AAA from S&P, and I was notified a couple hours ago that Moody's also gave us the AAA, and I will forward that report also, like I did with the S&P. I don't have it at this moment. And one edit, actually, the bond anticipation note spans is $75 million, not $70 million. So I will take any questions at this point on the controller's report.
Well, first, congratulations to you and your team for, once again, getting 2 AAAs, and I think the reports were very complimentary of the financial controls and the work of this board and the town of Greenwich. So thank you for you and your team, Pete.
You're welcome.
Any
No,
questions?
you beat me to the punch. I just wanted to congratulate Pete and his team. I listened to the presentations. I thought they were terrific.
Great. Thank you, Stephen. I think that reflects the views of the entire board, so thank you. Any other questions?
Just comment, I just noticed on the risk management, the defensive driving classes, just comment about what that is and
Well, first of all, we've offered this for years. I actually took it years ago, and you can actually, as part of your insurance policy, get a credit. We offer that as one of the safety programs. And going back to March of 2020, we outsource it to a third party. They're restricted by state statute. They have to offer it in person. You can't do it through Zoom. So the program was shut down throughout the COVID period. It's basically, it's designed for the different segments. The police officer is different than the guy that's driving the dump truck, the snowplow, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a safety measure for defensive driving for the different types of employees in the system.
so basically town employees who are driving various types of vehicles take this, or, I mean, is there a requirement that everybody take it, or is it voluntary?
They have priority. I actually took it about 10 years ago when they were offered in batches. But it's the priority is we try to get, let me give credit to the department heads. The Public Works will concentrate on the people. They'll encourage their drivers to take the test, but it is open to everyone.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept
So moved.
the controller?
Second.
Motion by Leslie Tarkington, seconded by Jeff Raymer. Any objections? Okay. Thank you very much. And now we have the Treasury report.
The treasurer's report, basically I'll turn your attention to the second page. The second page is actually more informative because it gives you the 6 months history as opposed to the 1 month. And some of the highlights are on the general fund, for example, with the rising interest rates, we've earned, I should say, $2,254,000. OPEB, we've earned to date $709,557. It has been very volatile over the first 6 months, as we all know. And capital projects, we're in good shape at $37 million. One of the pluses was that we were able to borrow $10 million for soil remediation, and with the ARP monies, we were able to repurpose that money and pay for that. So that balance is $10 million higher for this year because of the ARP reimbursement. There's a lot of conversations, the risk fund, which basically over the years is at $3,855,000, notwithstanding, I won't go there. The risk fund is one of the topics that comes up to the Budget Committee each February and March, led by Mr. Raymer. This has been pretty consistent over the last few years, and basically two things that drive it is very low claims that have settled and almost no claims that have settled because of the courts being closed over the years. I'll open it up to any questions, any of the other categories.
Questions? Okay, can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
that's
Second.
David Weisbrod, seconded by Leslie Tarkington. Any objections? Okay, that's accepted by unanimous consent, 1200.
We skipped over the ARP grant summary. that's
Okay.
in the package.
Yeah, I would, if Pete will accept that question, I'm happy to accept that. Thank you, Karen.
Didn't get the question?
Karen had a
I'm
question about the
sorry,
ARP.
we just skipped over the ARP grant summary. I just was wondering if you just give us a quick synopsis. For
Yeah.
It's present in the package, that's why.
Yeah, it actually came up during the credit reviews. We've spent about 40% of it year to date. We've received the whole $31.4 million. There's the quarterly reporting that is done. One of the issues, and I guess what we're starting to do is we're earning a lot of money on this. We've got $251,362 earned to date. A lot of that hasn't been recorded because it's treasury bills that haven't matured yet. So we're looking at the potential to earn, in the end, depending on how fast we pay down these monies, probably $1 million in interest income from the ARP funds. So that's basically it with the ARP. And again, as mentioned a couple times, it'll be one of the topics next month in February for the Budget Committee hearings.
Thank you, Pete.
At a prior meeting, a question was raised as to whether or not the use limitations apply to the interest, and there were differing points of views between people at this meeting. Have we ever taken a closer look at that to see whether or not the use limitations apply?
It's unrestricted. And I want to thank Ben Branyan. We offline, Ms. Moriarty and I with Ben, we talked about it. And I printed out, I think you have a copy, I printed out the sheet from the the final report that comes from the government. The simple answer is it's unrestricted.
Thank you, Pete. I think we have two very short BT standing committee reports. Audit, Harry Fisher.
Yeah, I just want to call attention to a special meeting of the Audit Committee that will be held on Thursday at 10 a.m. in the Cone Room. The primary topic of conversation will be Nathaniel Witherell's accounts receivable, where we hope to have a comprehensive report from John Mastronati. We're also going to review the purchasing department audit reports that were received a week or two ago.
Thank you.
Steve has a question.
Harry, I'm going to be in New York that day. Is that meeting going to be available by Zoom?
I didn't plan on it having a Zoom, but do you want to be able to call into it?
I really would, yeah.
Okay. I'll arrange that with you
Yeah,
offline.
but thank you very much, Harry.
Thank you. Excellent. Thanks for the question, Stephen.
Would anybody else want to be on a phone call
Yeah.
besides Steve?
Yeah, if anyone does, just let Harry know.
Yeah, just
Okay?
let me know. Thanks.
And Sherry, yeah, thank you. Next one is Budget Committee.
So for the Budget Committee report, I'm just going to give some publicity to the fact that tomorrow evening, our fiscal year '24 budget process begins at 6 o'clock with a first selectman's presentation, follows immediately thereafter by the budget presentation by the superintendent of schools and the chief operating officer of schools, and that will be followed by a public hearing, which will start at approximately 7 o'clock, although it could start earlier. Everything is continuing. There's a detailed agenda posted online, and the detail explains that this meeting will be televised by Greenwich Community Television on channels 24, which is Verizon, 79, which is Optimum, and on GCTV YouTube channel. So it can be accessed from any place via the YouTube channel. The public hearing part of it, there is 2 different opportunities. One, members of the public may make comments in person with a 3-minute time limit. We've actually put that time limit there, so to answer those kind of questions. And we will take speakers in the order that they sign up, and they sign up here in the town hall meeting room. There's also a written alternative, and there is a link on the agenda, and this is a link to the form. And, again, it's the same format, people's names, email addresses, phone numbers, that information, the private information will be redacted, and then their comments in the applicable part of the form, and also if they represent any particular interest group. So a lot of detail on that, and that occurs tomorrow evening in the same room beginning at 6 p.m. The other thing that you have in front of you, and it's a yellow and blue calendar, is posted in 2 different areas online. One area is in the budget presentations section of the town website, and the other is in the BET calendars. And this particular monthly calendar outlines all of the department meetings with the approximate times for these meetings. I think it also has a asterisk there. There were several possible executive sessions when the public would not be able to join us in the room. So, those kind of things occur. And also, the schedule is subject to change due to changes in department availability. And all these times that are posted are approximate and subject to change due to the length of the department review. So it's kind of a bit of a draft, and we all work within this time frame. The meetings all begin at 9 o'clock, with the exception of day 4, which is February 9th, which begins at 11, and they all last until approximately 4 o'clock. And for the public, I'll add here, there are no station breaks, there are no advertisements. Your budget committee is working full-time from 9 to 4.
Thank you very much. I think the next item is an item of new business, and that is the fiscal 21-22 annual report, first read. And the only thing I would mention here is the annual report is a document that's put together by our Pete's assistant, Sherry Davis. It basically comprises of all the operational reports from the departments, in addition to other information about town activities, and that is, compiled together. The BET does not in itself approve this document, but we do accept it, and we would expect to be doing that at our next meeting. So this is a first read. I believe that the report is not in the actual package, but there is a link so that on the agenda you can, look at that document if you want on a first read. For the chair's report, in interest of brevity, I don't have anything to say. And I think the last item is the approval of the BET regular minutes for December 14th. Are there any additional comments on that? If not, can I ask someone move the minutes?
So move.
Okay, Leslie Tarkington,
Second.
Leslie Moriarty. Any objections? Okay, that's accepted. Those are approved on unanimous consent. And Harry, do you have a motion to adjourn? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, that's it. We are adjourned at 7:58.
Well done.
Okay, thank you.